Mastering high-performing teams with Kirk Peterson, weekly insights and expert strategies to help leadership teams become high-performing teams.
Nick Del Santo joined once again by the Managing Director of Performance Shift, Kirk Peterson. Always lovely to see you, Kirk. Today, I want to ask you about feedback in the workplace and why it is so challenging. How do we improve this space?
Yeah, and I call it the F word, right? The F word in business, you know. There was when I was younger, and for the older listeners, there was a band when I was younger called Skyhooks, and they had a song called Ego is Not a Dirty Word. And I say the F word is not a dirty word. And that F word is obviously feedback.
Yes.
So it's not a dirty word. We have to absolutely embrace it, Dal.
How do we normalise feedback? Because it is scary, whether it be in business, which you're experiencing. I experienced it in sport. Mm-hmm. We are fearful to give it, and we are maybe even more fearful to receive it. How do we break that down?
Well, the first tip I want to give people in giving and receiving feedback, the first thing is it's allowed to be positive.
Yeah, of course.
So feedback does not mean it's negative only. That's A.
Yeah.
B, the tip I want to give you is if you can't receive feedback as a leader, you have no right to give feedback.
Why?
As a leader. Because you come across as a hypocrite.
Yep.
And you being a hypocrite, you've got to be able to create a culture that you'll receive feedback, and if you receive feedback, then it gives you the license to be able to give feedback with credibility.
How important is it to have a relationship with that person, a relationship based possibly on trust, as most relationships are, to be able to form that, to give feedback, knowing that it's coming from a place of care rather than criticism?
Well, the answer is always to that, but sometimes you're not able to have that. Yeah, you want to build it to have that, but at the end of the day, feedback has got to be done frequently and absolutely informally.
Yep.
So what a lot of us do is wait for that formal review, and that doesn't cut it. I mean, nowadays performance management can be every 12 months or even 6 months. Well, feedback should be frequent and informal.
Can you give feedback up in the workplace? Whose responsibility is it to be able to have an environment that feedback can go both ways?
Well, the answer is yes to your question, but that's got to be created by your culture. Your culture has got to embrace that feedback is both ways, not one way.
Would you also encourage people, if they want feedback or need more, to seek it themselves?
Absolutely. What we tend not to do is go, oh, you know what? I need more feedback, but I'm not going to ask for it. Well, if you need it, go and ask for it. You have to be assertive at some point and speak up about it. And that links to one of the sessions we had before about psychological safety. You build psych safety, it allows you the ability to speak up and ask for that from your direct report.
Nice. One of my favourite times each week is when you get to give us some of your wisdom to impart it on us, mere mortals. And that's your quote of the week. What is it this week, Kirk?
There are no failures, just feedback. So what that actually means is just because you got something wrong, you're not a failure. Yeah, you end up self-sabotaging with that. You're not a failure. It's just feedback that your decision was wrong. So make a different one.
And then do something about it. The next piece, then to put those learnings into actions. I love that, Kirk. You always give us something to be able to go home with. We've got more coming up. We're here for weeks. It's my favourite time of the week, Thursday evenings. What can we look forward to this time next week?
The importance of innovation in a team. The importance of thinking differently and challenging the status quo.
Oh, all right. Grab your pen once again. Grab a new piece of paper. Get it all ready to go. Kirk Peterson, you are a star and we appreciate your time.
Pleasure, Dad. Visit performanceshift.com.au and as a first step, take our free mini team assessment to begin unlocking your team's potential. Shift your mindset. Shift your performance.